Alpha, that see, let it be very clear like the other one. And this is Alright, so today we're having our basic training as usual. Every Friday we have basic training to remind ourselves of the things we need to know. We know we've heard them before, but they said something you don't read and keep reading again, you will forget. So remind ourselves of the things we need to know, things we need to know about real estate and the products and everything concerning real estate. So I'll go ahead with introduction. The real estate, you've heard real estate, you've heard about real estate, you hear it from there and there. Many people ask, what is this one about? So basically, real estate is just anything that has to do with landed property or any building or structure inside that landed property. So anytime you hear someone mention real estate, it just has to do with either the acquiring, buying, and selling of a property, be it building, land, open space, whatever it may be. That is real estate for you. So, in real estate, when it comes to real estate, we have different types of real estate, more like reasons why people do real estate. So, people do real estate for income, people's lifestyle. Some persons, that's their professional job. Like someone come out, or like some people do it as side hustle. Like we are professionals, and this is our profession. So we are real estate consultants, and we have realtors and staff. So now, different types of real estate. There are different types of real estate, and I'll write down some types of real estate. We have the residential. We also have commercial. We have the industrial, and we have regular land, and then last we have special purpose. So looking at this thing now, when it comes to residential, this implies, this talks about properties that are just for living purposes. If you go to areas where the only thing you see is a house, just people's houses, they are living there. There's no industry, there's no big market. It's just purpose for the purpose of living. Just like that's estate. Then if you come down to commercial, people buy land for different reasons. Like now, someone can come and buy land at a grid and say, person wants to build supermarket. like the way your governor built hypercity in, yes, in different places in Port Harcourt. So those lands are bought for commercial reasons. Also, we have industrial reasons, whereby the person buys land because they want to build a massive or big company. Maybe oil, plastic, any company of the person's choice. That's another reason people go into real estate. And then we have the normal land where people do or people get land just for the purpose of farming. You know, one of our former presidents, this is one of his biggest revenue. He has a very big amount of land just for farming. He has plenty workers. Is a very big source of income for him and for the country as well, because he's also shipping it. He's also giving it to us to eat. So this is the reason people just buy land to farm, harvest. If you go to villages now, you see that there are some specific areas they are cautioned just to farm. So when the crops yield good products, they will not share it among themselves. That is one reason. Now, when you come to special purposes, this is when you're talking like maybe you have a specific project, you want to build a church, you want to build a school, or even cemetery. Cemetery is involved. Special purpose, all of them follow. So there's school, there's church, there is cemetery for this one. Now, these are different reasons why people engage in real estate and also the different types of real estate. So now, when you're going into real estate, you just keep hearing people say, you hearing when you're entering real estate, you're hearing the big stories. You hear that this person sold this one and got this amount of money. These are someone has some that this is a money making scheme. But truth be told, real estate is actually a very very good, verified and certified source of income. It is not just a source of income, it is also a channel to build generational wealth if you're very serious with it and you know what you're doing. Real estate gives you the chance to, it makes this thing now makes this real estate can make you a millionaire overnight. This is something that if you do it properly and then you're speaking to the right personnel, you're getting the right intels, and then you're making the right steps and right decision, this can yield you generational wealth. This is a massive source of income. So that is that about real estate. So now I'm going to tell you about what we offer at Tango Properties Limited here. We have our own products. We have products all around Port Harcourt that we have for sale, that we, for our clients and for any person interested. Now, we have properties all around Port Harcourt. People have specific places they want to buy property from. You can have a client now that you're marketing Calabar to. You're telling him you have a land in Uyo, somewhere close to one big supermarket. He's telling you, that he's looking for a land in Port Harcourt, these areas or so or so. So now we're telling you places in Port Harcourt where we have properties. As per Tango Properties Limited. So now I'll start with our land banking. So in real estate, there's something called land banking and instant build. So if you're when you're explaining land banking are lands that people buy and then they allow it to grow. It's like going to put your money in bank and then allowing over time. But then in bank, bank they have their regular small interest rates. So now in land, if you want to do land banking and you go ahead and purchase a land, you know that property you just bought is going to appreciate. Land is constant. Land keeps appreciating, keeps going up. Unlike banks, when Access Bank closed down and then Diamond had to buy it. So I mean Diamond closed and Access had to buy it. So unlike land, if you buy this property here now, let's say you buy this small space. If you come back here in 2 years' time, this small space is still your small space as far as it has been registered under your name. So that is that for land banking. So land banking, people just buy that one and then they allow it to grow. That is something that maybe you come back in the next 2 years, 3 years, or 5 years, you now want to sell it. Maybe you bought it for, let's say, 150,000. When you now come to sell it, the areas are now high. You now sell it for 150 million. That's like 100 times the price you bought it. So yeah, we have areas in Port Harcourt that are like that. GRA, for instance, used to be an empty bush. It was full bush. People used to buy land for 150,000, 200,000. Then now, if you go to GRA, you cannot see land of anything less than 90 million. That's if you see an open land. People what they sell in GRA now are mostly buildings. So now for land banking, our properties that are available for land banking, um, we have Noblewood Residence. I'll call the names and then I'll elaborate on it. There's Noblewood Residence, there's Campus Layout, there's Hallel Extension, and so many others. So I'll start with Noblewood Residence. So our Noblewood Residence is located at Isiopo, yes. And the landmarks are you go through Wigwe University, then that's when you're going to like Ikure local government. The local government council is located on that road. So when you pass the Wigwe University signboard, then you pass the Ikure local government council. Then going forward, you will still see a road safety office. So our property now is there's a property that Amechi bought there. So immediately after the boundary of that property comes Tango Properties Limited property. So there now land at Noblewood is going for 4 million for one full plot and 2.5 million for half a plot. That's for pre-launch price. That now is still in pre-launch. Yeah. So when you say pre-launch is before the main launch. Yes. So this is like promo price. By the time we raise it, it now goes to the launch. So and the launch is always bigger than the pre-launch, of course. So we now have the next one. We have campus layout. So campus layout is located at Elele Eche. You've heard of Eche now. Eche, yes. Eche now, lands in Eche are now costly. There was a time when if you go to Eche, you can buy land for anything less than 100,000. People bought land for 50,000, 100,000, 150,000. But now in Eche, land is selling for a high price. This campus layout now I'm telling you is selling for 1.5 million for a full plot and 500,000, 750,000 for half a plot. And the landmarks are the places that are very close to these areas are we have the Tessel University. There's Tessel University being built there. There's Stella Maris, and also we have the River State University Agric Extension. There's an extension from the school, the Agric faculty that was moved to that side, which is very active. If you've gone around the area, whenever you go there for inspections, you see that students are always coming in and out of the school. They go in, they're in session, they'll go in and come out. Whenever they go on holiday, the students will go. So now, these are the things you can use to sell the product. Campus layout. If someone asks you about campus layout, you tell them that there's a university there. There are like three universities there. There's Stella Maris, there's Tessel, and then there's RSU. Then same thing goes for Halal Estate Phase 2. It has the same landmark. They're still on the same area. It's still on the same Tessa University, Stella Maris, and then also the RSU Agric Extension is in front. So yes, they both have the same landmarks. And then Halal Phase 2 is going for 2.5 million for full plots, and then it's going for 1.3 million for half plots. So these lands now are land banking. Also, although Halal can also be used for buy and build, because if you go to where the property is, buildings have been erected. People now stay. Yes, I'll get there. Yes, of course. We have that. There are buildings around there now. The thing is that any people can use. Yeah, people can use any land for land banking. Land banking, I think, is there are some lands that are specifically land banking, yes, but then at the same time, some clients just want to buy and keep it and allow it to grow. That's now your client's own choice. Like whatever he wants to use the land to do, he will now use that one to do. So yes, I'll talk about that one as well. So coming down, we have the Halal extension. The Halal extension. Now this one is close to the airport. That international airport is close to international airport. And then also Salvation Ministry proposed sites for their university they're all around the same area. And then with the Greater Tap City, there's an area that was marked out in Port Harcourt for Greater Tap City, is also close to Hallow Extension. So coming down again, we have sorry, excuse me. We have now coming down. I'm going to start explaining the buy and builds. We have we have Imperial Heaven, we have Aviva Estate, eh? Crestview. Our Crestview is sold out actually. Yes, our Crestview. Hmm? We have our phase two is the sales have been closed. Our phase one has been sold out. The phase two, the sales have been closed for now. Yes. So around that same area, let me start around that side. Urban Prime. We have a new estate, Urban Prime Estate. I don't know if you were among us when we did our site tour. Yes, Urban Prime Estate is another selling very very sweet area. It's around Enaka Igrita. So the landmarks are there's a timber market. Just see the property is here. There's a timber market directly beside it, and after the timber market, there is Shell. There's a Shell branch there, very very active. Then if you go further down the road, you see Salvation Ministries headquarters, the church, the cathedral, the Five Fingers Cathedral. That's where it is. And then coming from that's the this property now has two access roads. You can either come from Rupopo or you come from Eneka. So it has but we call it Eneka Igrita. Rupopo connects to Igrita, Eneka still connects to Igrita. So now, in Urban Prime, one plot is 17 million. A plot of land is 17 million. And the thing about Urban Prime now, Urban Prime is a wetland. When I say a wetland, I mean it's not soaked, but is if you're marketing it to a client, you tell the client that this property has to be filled. It has to do filling. Just like raise the DPC to the root level. Unlike if Port Harcourt as a whole is a waterland. So the more people build, the more they chase the water back. So Urban Prime is a wetland. It's not waterlogged. It's just a wetland. If you go there for the site tour you saw, we stood inside. Yes. So it's a wetland. Just have to advise your client to fill it and raise the DPC to a very good level. So the full plot at Urban Prime is 17 million, while the half plot is 9 million naira for half a plot. So now coming back from that side, we have the Imperial Heaven, which is at Alo. Our Imperial Heaven is at Alo. Then the landmark now for Imperial Heaven, we have international airport still. Very not more than less than 15 minutes away from the property on the express. Once you just come out to the express, straight to the airport. It's a straight road, very clean, security assured. And then it's also close to University of Port Harcourt, close to the ring road construction that's currently ongoing. So we see that this property in Imperial Heaven is directly on the road. It's the way I'm standing now. This is the gate of the property. So yes, that one too. That's a buy and build, and then it's a buy and build, and it's going for 25 million per plot and 30 million for half a plot. So many buy and build. We have Aviva. Aviva is 70 million a plot, 9 million. Aviva has the same landmarks with Imperial Heaven Airport, the ring road construction, Uniports, not so far from it. Then moving down, we have let me now explain Tango Mega City for you. Tango Mega City is located at Ruma Kondi. Yes, the landmark for this property is coming from Choba. You pass UPTH, you pass University of Port Harcourt, you pass Market Square and everyday. Then you go down, you now pass the Anti-Court headquarters. Then you enter, there's a road on your left. The land is directly on the major road, major third road. The property is very available. Very as many. If you're marketing it to a client and the client asks you how many plots do you have there, you tell him you have as many as possible, as many as the person wants. That's what we have there. So that's it from Tango Mega City. So that is one of our buy and builds or land banking, whichever your client wants to do with it, you let the person know that we have it. So those are our major properties. So moving on, I will tell you about now that you've known some of the properties, the products that we're offering, the properties that Tango Properties Limited have. Now you know about it. You now go out to sell. We're not talking about sales. You now move on to how you now go, you approach someone and be like, you're trying to market the product to the person. So in sales, you're advised that when you're telling somebody about a product, you have to know what you're selling, which is the product knowledge I just gave you. So while you've read and you've told yourself that you've read very well and you know what you're going to tell the person. So when you now go to market, that thing you're not doing is called marketing. So you're now telling the person about the properties you have, how you approach the person. So now in sales, you approach a client, you have to be confident. It's a very, very big factor. If you want to make sales, you're approaching somebody, you have to be confident. You can't go to sell to somebody and you're like, good day, sir. Your hand is shaking, so you have to be confident that you tell yourself, I have what they need. You're providing a solution to them. So when you meet someone, you're like, You strike conversation, you shake hands, family, you market the person, you tell the person, I have this, that, I know it will interest you and it will be of massive help and income to you. So it's like providing another solution to the person. The person might already have a source of income, yes, but then you can tell the person you have another source of generational income. Be it not for himself, for his kids, for his family, anybody he knows, his loved one. So now that's marketing for you. You meet somebody, what you do is you try your best to strike conversation. You don't make it all about the buy. You're telling him to buy. You want him to buy. Yes, you need him to buy from you, but then you don't sound desperate. You should not be sounding needy. So yeah, you're explaining to him that this can be a solution for a problem. You're like bringing a solution to the table for him. That's when you now find a way to make the product you're selling to him, you make it a solution instead of a burden. You explain to him that okay, if you get this property, that these are the advantages that this can add to you. So him now he's now seeing that, oh okay, that this is true. That he will now stop thinking that he's going to waste money to buy land. He's now thinking that okay, I'm acquiring this thing for this particular purpose. So now what you now do is you develop yourself on your sales mechanism, because people have different methods of selling. Well, you check the one that suits you the most. You practice with yourself in your mirror. Wake up in the morning, look at your mirror, you be like, hi, nice to meet you. My name, you understand? You talk to yourself, and then you encourage yourself, you build your confidence so that when you go out and the person asks you a question, you not stammer and you not be fidgeting in front of your clients. That will show lack of confidence. It will bring down the value of what you're selling and the company you're representing as well. Yes. So after that, after marketing, you now do when you've gotten your excuse me, when you've gotten your clients, your leads, you've gotten their contacts, you've gotten their phone numbers. You now tell them people that you're like, okay, you text them, you chat them up, you want to tell them more about your product. That's what we now call follow up. When you've gotten the leads you generated from your marketing, you now do what you call follow up. So in follow up is the most important part of the entire job. Aside the product knowledge, the follow up is very important because now you have to like follow the person. You're like you have to guide the person. You're pampering him to come and buy. You don't know. This is not where you like you call him today, you call him tomorrow. No, you're not MTN or you're not OP, you're not Pampay. Uh-huh. So instead of calling them like Pampay and OP, you follow up diligently. You learn. That's why you are teaching. That's why you come for basic trainings. So in your follow up, there are different types of follow up. You're not to follow your clients back to back. Yes, you want him to buy, but if you follow him back to back, you show him signs of desperation. The client goes ahead to believe that this person is desperate. So in him, yeah, he's going to say that you just want him to buy so you have your money. So you follow up, you follow him diligently. If you get the contact today, you can follow him up today and tomorrow. You text him, you remind him, okay, sir, ma, I met you here. We spoke about this and that because it's not every client you meet. Okay, yes, sure. WhatsApp. Yeah. Okay. 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 How long has it been he told since he told you he'll get back to you? Last week. See, okay. So that's what you do is because that's another method of follow. You texting him through WhatsApp. Is that his call line? Have you spoken to him on the normal call or is it just through WhatsApp? So what you do is because most persons are are not phone call persons. Or since you've been texting him on WhatsApp, okay, the person is not in the country. So you guys just text through WhatsApp. Okay, through the wife. So is it the wife you're chatting with? Okay, is it the wife you're chatting with? Okay. Okay. The husband. Okay, so you're texting with the husband. The land, okay. Okay, so in that case now, because you don't want it to look like you're pestering the man, he's a married man, of course. So you don't want it to look like you're pestering the man and then let the wife not come and think that you want to come and take her husband. So what you do is you will not pressure him. You've told him about the properties you have. You've told him what you want to offer him. If he told you he will get back to you, if you have you texted him again since that time? And what you do is there's something we call how do I put it? It's called checking in follow up. What it is, you can necessarily just you can text him and be like, I just want to check up on you and see how you're doing. If you text him now and tell him you want to check in and see how he's doing, how he's work, then now you have reminded him that you're still here, oh, that you're still here. And another thing now, because you know the wife, you can also text the wife. You can strike a conversation with the woman. She's a woman, you're a lady. There can be something you guys will talk about. Yes. So now, while you're conversing with the lady, you will now chip it in and be like, that reminds me, so with your husband, any updates? So she now be in a better position to tell you what, because she and her husband would have discussed about it. So she now will now tell you this is what he said, oh, then you now know what to tell the wife from there. So that's their feedback. Yes, that's why they say when you're marketing, if you market to a man that is married and no one tells you he's gonna get back to you, and then maybe he texts you back and he's like, okay, that okay, he said he wants to speak to his wife. Or you now tell him like, okay, no problem. That is a very good thing that he wants to deliberate on such matter with your spouse. That is very important that you two be on the same page for something like that. So now, if he's taking time, you now text him. If he now tells you that okay, that his spouse is delaying, that the spouse is not sure of this product, what you now do is that you can tell the person, can you speak to both of them? That's if you do not have the other spouse's number. You can tell the person if you can get to talk to the person about the product, and maybe the person will see a different point of view from your own side. Yes. So that's another type of follow up. When you get the contact, you follow them up diligently. You're not to press, don't pester them like, yes, yeah, exactly. So you get the contact, you text them that day, the following day. If they're the ones that respond, because some persons are very, very active in responding, they respond to you on a daily basis. So you can text the person, you give the person 3 days, you now talk about the product you talked about before. Some persons are instant buy. There's some persons you market to and then you just text them and show them the picture and they're like, okay, they want to buy, then they buy immediately. So now in that case, when you've marketed somebody and the person buys, some realtors now will just be like, okay, I've collected my commission, I'm going to now rest, which is not good. Because you don't know that that person that bought from you now has a long line of 1,000 persons that will still come and buy through him. So what you do is you follow up on that particular client, you check and you be like, so how have you been? You don't know, you don't just buy and abandon the person, you don't use and dump the person. So you buy, if he buys, you encourage, you check in, you be like, so how, if the person has a birthday, you can call him and be like, so happy birthday, oh, happy new month, all those kind of messages. The person will be remembering you. So that in his circle of friends or meeting or office, he can recommend you and your product to anybody he knows. So that's another type of follow-up. So now timing also in follow-up is another thing. You can't say you want to go and text that man by 12 a.m. That's absurd. That's disturbing. If you text a married man by 12 a.m., he will report it to his wife because the wife connected two of you, and then the business goes bad. So there are some persons you don't text beyond some time. Married personnel, you don't text them once it's past the time. Your own time, yeah, if you're married, you don't want anybody to text you. That's what you do. You maintain the same thing. Then you try your best to converse with your clients. If you check in today and they tell you they'll get back to you, they'll get back to you later. You can check in like 3 days. Don't let it overslide. If you let the person stay for like 2 weeks, they will forget. People forget. Your chat, if it's on WhatsApp, your chat will go down. The person will forget what you guys were texting about. So you go in 3 days, you check, 4 days, you check, you just keep checking on the client because how the person knows you're there is you just keep going and then eventually the person will come and buy. When you're texting, when you're doing your follow-up, you ask simple questions, just nothing too ambiguous, nothing too big. If the client is someone that is engaging in conversation, you listen. You listen more than you talk. Or in such conversation, you observe more than you say. So what the person is saying to you, you just be picking the points. If it's a problem, he's explaining to you. In your own head, you're thinking, how can I pitch a solution to him? Via what you have for him to buy. Even if it's not in the field of what you're selling, you can quickly research about it and then give him be like, this is my suggestion, or then you now tell him what you have in mind. That marks you as an intelligent person in front of your clients. It means the person will be like, oh, this person is resourceful. The person will have confidence. You're building confidence with the client. You're letting the person know that okay, you can this problem you can talk about stuffs like this from time to time. You produce solutions and then also provide help in every manner you can provide it. So then what else? Still on the follow up, you mix up your follow up. If you're doing your follow up, you mix it up. You don't some people some persons type of follow up. Some of them are too casual. What you do is you can be casual when you have built bond with your client. You understand? If you've built a specific kind of bond with your client, you now know that okay, you and this person's conversation is in this same pattern. So you don't go and overstep your boundary and go and maybe you now enter a married man's DM and be like, "Good morning, sweetie," the married man's DM. So that's not proper. So when you're chatting with your client, you know your boundaries, the exact type of messages to send to avoid growing problems and to avoid spoiling your marketing for you. So that is that for follow up, and that is actually the most important part of marketing and real estate. So when you've done your follow up, you now convince the client to now tell you, okay, he's coming. He will now come and buy. And when he buys, you have your commission. You'll be on good terms with your mind and soul and body. So that is that for follow up. So in real estate, okay, yes, sure, please. Story. They see you in person. Has it been chatting with you professional via the video? Okay, after he's seen the video you posted and he liked it, did you guys talk about the property? Okay, okay. Then all of a sudden he wants to see you. That's now mixing business to pleasure.